Good morning, everyone. I'm Joanna Flores. Today, I am presenting my practicum research on developing an AI governance framework for professional billing self-service analytics. This work focuses on helping healthcare organizations adopt large language models responsibly while protecting patient data, maintaining compliance, and delivering measurable business value. I will walk you through why this research matters, how I designed a governance framework, the evidence that supports it, and what healthcare organizations need to consider when deploying it in the real world. The primary problem addressed by this research is that while AI tools can improve self-service analytics and operational efficiency, organizations need a clear governance policies to ensure these technologies are used responsibly. The goal of my practicum is not to evaluate a specific vendor solution, but rather to create a technology-agnostic governance framework that can be applied to AI-enabled analytics workflows. Without governance, organizations face risks related to privacy, compliance, and trust in AI-generated insights. This slide shows the governance gap clearly. On the left is the current state in most healthcare billing organizations. No AI acceptable use policy, no oversight requirements, PHI risks unaddressed, and no audit trail for AI outputs. On the right is what is needed, a governance framework that defines policies, controls, roles, and accountability structures. This frames my central research question. What governance policies and controls are necessary to support safe, compliant, and trustworthy use of LLMs within professional billing analytics? The solution is a structured governance framework built through a four-phase methodology. Phase 1 was a synthetic literature review from internationally recognized frameworks and healthcare standards governance frameworks. Phase 2 was purposive selection of 5 representative professional billing use cases. Phase 3 mapped 15 AI risks to specific controls and policy recommendations. Phase 4 evaluated the framework with domain experts. The framework spans 5 governance domains: data governance, AI risk management, and compliance and privacy, security, and human oversight, covering the full AI lifecycle. The framework focuses on ensuring that AI adoption is not only technically feasible but also operationally responsible. The RACI matrix was added to address accountability concerns by defining who is responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed throughout the AI governance lifecycle. One of the central contributions of this research is the governance workflow, which integrates business value, risk assessment, governance review, implementation, and continuous improvement into a repeatable life cycle. An important enhancement of this framework is the business value assessment. Before evaluating AI risks, organizations should determine whether an AI use case provides sufficient value to justify implementation. This supports informed investment decisions and addresses concerns about balancing innovation with governance. The heart of the framework is the risk control policy matrix. I identified 15 AI governance risks. Let me walk you through 5 critical ones. First, AI hallucinations. When AI generates inaccurate analytics, the control is mandatory human validation, and the policy states AI insights may support but may never solely determine operational decisions. Second, PHI in AI prompts. The control is data loss prevention tools and prompt monitoring, and policy prohibits submitting PHI into unapproved AI tools. Third, over-reliance on AI, addressed by mandatory human-in-the-loop checkpoints. Fourth, shadow AI use, addressed by acceptable use policy enforcement. And fifth, lack of accountability, requiring named business owner for every AI use case. Each of the 15 risks has this same structure: a risk, an impact, a control, and an enforceable policy statement. The framework produces a risk a stratified governance decision for each use case. Denial management analytics and payer performance analytics earn approved status at medium risk. The three high-risk use cases, physician productivity reporting, accounts receivable analytics, and charge capture, receive conditionally approved status, meaning they may proceed only once specific governance controls are implemented and validated. Unapproved use of public LLMs with organizational data is not approved. It falls under shadow AI policy enforcement. This decision matrix gives organizations a clear, actionable starting point for AI deployment sequencing. The framework achieves full alignment with 9 of the 10 standards assessed, including all the NIST AI RMF functions: govern, map, measure, and manage. It achieves full alignment with WHO and OECD principles, HIPAA privacy and security rules, DAMA DMBOK 2, and HFMA revenue cycle standards. The one partial alignment is ISO IEC 42001. The framework aligns with its management system principles but does not provide a formal certification roadmap. Importantly, unlike compliance frameworks that show binary checkmarks, this matrix honestly distinguishes between full and partial coverage, which is more academically rigorous and practically useful. The framework defines 15 governance roles across 2 OECD dimensions. The people dimension covers 10 roles, from the AI system business owner with ultimate accountability to the AI governance committee, providing cross-functional oversight down to the end users and, importantly, patients as data subjects with privacy rights. The planet dimension covers 5 roles focused on AI infrastructure sustainability, vendor management, and architecture governance. For every governance activity, the framework assigns explicit RACI codes: responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed, ensuring no governance function falls through the cracks due to unclear ownership. Now the evaluation evidence. I administered a structured 5-point Likert scale instrument to domain experts, a researcher, practitioner, RCM managers, analytics leaders, decision support manager, compliance officers, and data governance leads, patient financial specialist, program director, IT consultant, and also the AVP Digital Citizen Experience, also the VP of Chief Information Security and Privacy Officer. Compliance and privacy received the highest score at 4.8 out of 5, reflecting high confidence in the HIPAA alignment and PHI controls. Business applicability received 4.6, is still strong agreement, but suggesting opportunity to tailor controls more precisely to specific workflows. All of the 14 reviewers recommended the framework for implementation. 3 qualitative themes emerged from reviewer commentary, each directly influencing the final framework. First, the RACI matrix was consistently identified as the most actionable artifact, so I expanded it to 11 governance activities across 7 roles. Second, reviewers noted the need for more targeted guidance for smaller organizations. The phased roadmap addresses this by making Phase 1 explicitly suitable for resource-constrained environments. Third, reviewers recommended an AI vendor evaluation scorecard, added to future work with BAA checklist guidance in Appendix B. This responsive approach to feedback strengthens the framework's practical utility. For real-world deployment, the framework provides a 4-phase implementation roadmap. Phase 1 foundation must be completed before any AI development begins. Form the governance committee, adopt acceptable use policy, complete HIPAA readiness assessments, deploy RBAC and audit logging, and train all staff. Phase 2 deploys the 2 approved use cases with all governance controls fully active. Phase 3 expands to 3 conditionally approved use cases once elevated controls are validated, and Phase 4 creates continuous improvement loops, annual framework review, biannual stakeholder evaluation, and the policy refresh cycles. The key principle governance infrastructure must be operational before any AI use case goes live. I want to be direct about the limitations of this research. Five key ones. First, single organization context. The framework was developed alongside one organization, which may introduce assumptions not universal to all healthcare settings. Second, a small evaluation sample. Five expert reviewers cannot establish statistically generality, even 14 of them. Third, no longitudinal validation. Governance effectiveness cannot yet be quantified through outcome data. Fourth, the AI landscape is evolving rapidly, and agentic AI may introduce new risks not yet captured. Fifth, there is no comparative control. I cannot directly compare outcomes with and without the framework. I view these 5 points as the research agenda that follows this work. Near-term priority is multi-site validation across 10 or more organizations and development of the AI vendor scorecard reviewers requested. Midterm focus shifts to longitudinal outcome measurement. What actually happens to PHI incidence rates and compliance audit findings when organizations implement this framework? I also want to develop a governance maturity model organization can use to assess their progression. Long-term, the most important direction is the extending of governance frameworks to address agentic AI, autonomous systems that act on behalf of the organizations in billing workflows. As AI moves from analytics to action, governance requirements change fundamentally. An industry consortium to develop shared PBAI governance standards across health systems would be the ultimate impact of this research trajectory. To close, four takeaways. The problem is real. AI is in professional billing creates governance risk most organizations are not yet equipped to manage. The framework works. 15 risks addressed, 10 standards aligned, a full RACI accountability model, and 14 expert reviewers who all recommend it for implementation. Implementation is achievable. The four-phase roadmap provides a practical sequence path any healthcare organization can begin, and there is more work ahead. This research establishes a foundation multi-site validation, longitudinal outcome measurement, and agentic AI governance extensions represent the trajectory. Thank you for your time. I am happy to take questions on any aspect of the framework methodology, the evaluation evidence, or implementation considerations. Have a great day.